Watched again. I tell you, I liked her a lot. This is a visual show, so I like to try to share videos, and And when I was looking for a video to share, I came across hers, and I just immediately was like, okay, this is it. And normally I like to go through the websites and check to find out who they are, what they've done. But honestly, I ran out of time. So those of you that want to check her out is K.AVETT. So check her out. Real smooth. Like her a lot. So let's get to know more about my special guest and co-host. For those of you who don't know, you better act like you know.
Ow! Hit that Google and stop playing, huh? Ain't that something? God is good. Cut it out.
All the time.
Yes, he is. You know I'm a clown. Ain't nothing changed, Wendy.
So as I mentioned early on, and I'm going to do a quick bio read. Not
Don't
the whole
read
thing,
all of
I'm
it,
not,
Wendy.
it's so
Lord,
much.
God is good. Just tell them, just go to the
Oh,
website.
my goodness.
Yeah, you know, I hate when people go through all that.
Well, okay, we'll just touch the highlights, whatever
Okay.
you want to talk about. But I mean, you just have such an impressive. I don't even see how you managed to condense it into just 4 short paragraphs, because you've done so much.
Well, I mean, it's God. I promise. It's woo, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Yes, I mean, so, okay, I started the show and I talked about how you are an actor. So, and you've been doing a lot of theater, stage productions. And definitely want to talk about that. You are a singer,
Yes.
songwriter, and when we met, I'm not sure how long after or before that you had your CD, but I absolutely love that CD.
Thank you. That's been like, my son is 14. So that was like 12 years ago.
Yes, and so it's time for another one.
Well, I got some things in the pot.
Yes.
I got some things in the pot.
Yes. and the other hat, and I when I was putting together the script for the show, I don't want to say, you wear many different hats, because sometimes that will, it makes you seem like you're spread so thin, but I tell you, and you are equally talented in each and every one. And the third thing or expertise for you is as an educator and vocal coach.
Thank you.
And we met, and she trained me for some years back for a few months, and I found it very effective. So again, later on in the show, we'll get a chance to talk more about that as well. So let's see what I want to really touch on. Okay, so it's soprano, actor, recitalist, educator, sought after private voice instructor and coach, and a voice clinician at vocal music seminars, workshops, and conferences throughout the East Coast. You've worked on many stage productions, and we're going to talk about what's coming up for you with the musical role as Caroline Thibodeau.
That was a year and a half ago.
Okay. And we'll talk about what you're working on now, and then we got the website up. Look at that.
AyanaBlake.com. Yes. I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That face is beat. It
Give
ain't
me
beat
face,
today.
those eyes.
It ain't beat today. I couldn't give him nothing but a mascara today and a lip.
And then the touring that you've done all over the world, toured China and Korea, Asia with the New York Harlem Singers. But okay, so let's talk about part one, the acting. Okay. How did you get so involved in theater? Was this something that you pursued early on, like in college, or?
Well, I pursued it early in elementary, junior high, high school. I'm from Arlington, Virginia. Whoop, whoop, Green Valley. And we had street theater. And so I was a part of street theater. And we would put on plays and productions in the parking lots of Arlington County. And we had costumes, we had singing, and that's where it started for me in that area of acting. And of course, I went on to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. Yes,
all right.
Ellington.
Shout out to Duke Ellington. Where's my bell? Bing, bing, bing.
Once I got to Ellington, my voice teacher, she got me to, because of course their voice direction, they go into like more of the classical. And when I got there, she was like, "You're a soprano." I said, "No, ma'am." No, ma'am, I'm an alto. I've been an alto for years. And she's like, "No, we're gonna." So she started preparing me as a classical soprano. And so the rest is history. I went into the classical genre, attended Shenandoah Conservatory, and so I kind of left like the well, you can't say left it, because opera is definitely stage work. But went in that direction, and then later really getting into musical theater. That wasn't where the direction I was going in. So that was something that I kind of just like stumbled upon, because I was going to be an opera diva that traveled Europe.
Right.
And so that was my cards, but that wasn't what God wanted me to do. So here I am in musical theater now. Of course, I sing, pretty much all of the genres, but that's what's paying my bills. Amen.
All right. Amen. So when you say it's something that kind of happened, and kudos to you for being able to, sometimes things hit us in the face constantly, but we want to ignore it. So thank God you didn't ignore it, because now here you are doing, as you're saying, it's paying the bills, and you're doing very well at musical theater. So what was it, though, was it like someone that influenced you heavily, or what was it about, aside from that inner voice that said, I need to pursue this, was there like a monumental moment that triggered it, or you just kept taking opportunities?
Well, for years, I was in college, got pregnant, and everything took a turn. So once I, got out of college, I became a housewife and took my kids to school, therapy, and did the laundry and all of that. And then had this like mirror, as Oprah calls it, light bulb moment, like this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's when I just was like, you know what, I need to get back into doing what it is that I really, really am called to do. And so that's when I, started auditioning and started taking up more gigs, started teaching again. And that's when it just started to just, kind of build. And then just got a call, hey, why don't you come to this audition?
Wow.
And went to the audition, and one audition led to another, and here we are.
There you are. Yes. Wow. And here we are now is this current production that you're working on, Lady Day.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill is technically the title. It is a show about Billie Holiday. It is one of her last shows before she passed away.
Wow.
So everything that she said, everything that she performed is a show now.
Wow.
And so I have the opportunity for a month, February 8th through March 4th, to become Billie Holiday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so this particular show, she takes us on a journey of her life. So she talks about being raped as a kid. She talks about her addiction. She talks about her many loves. She talks about her parents, her history, going on tour with an all-white male band. And of course she, intertwines it with those beautiful songs that we've heard for many, many years.
Those songs that came from pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. And some not so painful. Oh, you got to look at those lyrics. I mean, some of them, yeah. Billie Holiday was something. Oh yeah, she was something else.
So how did you prepare for this role?
How am I preparing?
Oh, how are you? Oh, you still,
girl? I'm telling you. Well, to be honest, it's a lot. And so I have been in a cocoon for about maybe 2 or 3 months. So I haven't been out, as in like partying. Well, I don't party, but not even like, girl, let's go have brunch. I've been like, no, I've been studying. I wake up, I'm in my script, eat food in my script, listening to music. We actually go into production this week. Matt Connor is the director at Creative Cauldron, and one of DC's favorites, jazz musicians, Mark Meadows, is my piano man and the music director.
Shout out to Mark.
Mark Meadows. Yeah, we did Jelly's Last Jam at Signature Theater, and he was phenomenal in that, and this is our reunion, and so I'm really excited to work with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So it takes a lot. I mean, I've been doing my research on Billie Holiday. I've been listening to her voice, studying her mannerisms, studying, her friends, her friendships, her interactions with folks. Sometimes I'm just sitting listening to her rehearsals because I have CDs of her live rehearsals.
Wow.
So I'm just sitting just in a room, just eyes closed, listening to how she's talking. She was a cuss box now. Oh, Miss Billie Holiday had a mouth on her, honey. Listen. Oh my! I said, oh, okay, that's how you feel. Okay, all right. But it's been an experience. She has changed my life. I mean, we see her when we hear about her, when we saw Lady Sings the Blues. I'm kind of sad because that wasn't really who I've researched her as. For years I've seen her as the victim. She's been the junkie, she's been the alcoholic. But when you really do the research on her life, I mean, she was an activist. She was a black woman with an all-white band going down south singing a song about lynching in front of a room full of white folks.
Right, so she was very strong.
Absolutely. Yes. And so she stood for something. They were following her from concert to concert to lock her up so that she couldn't sing those songs. All in the name of, we're watching you because you're a junkie. We want to lock you up for that. But I believe it was really because she was singing a song of awareness of what was really going on.
She had influence.
Absolutely. She was ahead of her time.
Yes. Wow. I can't wait to see the play. I'm like, I want to get to know more. Well, so we're going to see another, in addition to the entertaining side of Billie Holiday, we're going to get to know a little more about who she was and her legacy.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, the only thing I have, the only frame of reference I have is the Lady Sings the Blues. Besides watching her and Billy D.
Well, and you know what? In my research, I watched it and I sat and I was just like, they wrote this for Hollywood.
Yeah.
They wrote this for Diana. They didn't write this for Billie Holiday because the Billie Holiday that I've researched and I've done the work on, I'm saying, why is she talking like that? That's not Billie Holiday. That's not the one that I've researched. And so I'm excited because I get to be kind of like share with folks that really don't know too much about her. And they can come to the show and say, oh wow, I didn't know that. She was a victim of being raped at an early age, but look at all of the things she did. You know what I mean? Because everybody has a story. That's us as artists.
Right.
We have a story, and our outlet is music. And she says it a lot, singing is the best part of living for me. She says that a lot in the show. Singing is the best part of living for me.
Wow. It was her escape too.
Oh yeah. And how many of us artists, that's our escape. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes that's what gets us up in the morning is that treble clef. You know what I mean?
Right.
That opportunity to share that message through song. You know what I mean?
I do. I don't get the chance to experience it as much, but yeah, definitely. It does put you in a place. And you feel better.
Yeah.
For the person that's performing as well as the person that's receiving it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Man, so, in terms of like with this production and your previous productions, so you have to really put yourself in that character, put yourself in that place. Is it hard to shed that when it's over?
Yeah. Oh yeah. One of my last roles, Caroline Thibodeau, where you referenced before, where I got my Helen Hayes Award. Yeah.
All right. Ding, 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 ding.
That was me. I had to. It took me at least about a month and a half to kind of shed that energy. I lived in like a depression for 2 months just to do the role.
Wow.
Yeah, because she was in a dark place every night, every day, you know. And so to tap into that dark place, I had to bring up those places that took me there. And so, you know, which are my experiences. I had to go to that place every single day, you know, and you know, we go into our dark places. It's not easy to come out of that.
It sure isn't.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So to be able to do a show every night, it's one of those, I can't go in and out, in and out. Well, you can, but I didn't. So I just lived in that place for a month. And then it took me another month to come out of that place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's kind of a good segue into the singing portion of your career. Keeping it kind of separate from the acting. So in terms of the, in terms of the feeling, what is the word I'm looking for? In terms of being able to portray, even like through song, how you're feeling when you're performing live music. Do you use that same kind of reference, a place that you go to when you're studying for when you're studying for plays as you do before you go on stage to perform songs?
Absolutely. I see it as being a storyteller, and so it's what the message is. If it's just a song, you know, if it's 32 measures, in those 32 measures, what am I actually saying? You know what I mean? So if it's a love song and I'm in love with a man and, you know, yada, 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 I have to tap into who is that man. I have to tap into what's our history. I have to tap into, you know, who was he before the 32 bars. And then I have to see him, you know what I mean? So yeah, all of it's storytelling. Yeah. And, you know, it's character.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, when we come back, we kind of talked about this a little bit before we started the show. I had I don't know where I heard it from, but in my mind, and we talked about this, and Kevin's laughing because we talked about it earlier too, in terms of like, do singers make better actors? So when we come back, that's going to be the question, because I'm thinking
make better actors.
Well, I mean, well, not. I mean, I don't want to minimize it, but I mean, just in terms of, because as a performer, you have to kind of put yourself in that place as well. Okay. So we're going to talk about. I'm going to defend this, and I'm not saying I believe this, but I thought I heard it somewhere. So we'll talk about it when we come back from the commercial. See you in a sec. We're back. Got a lot of activity on Facebook Live. Okay, so I just want to make this disclaimer. I'm not saying that singers do. I'm just saying, okay, do they have an advantage in terms of acting? Because when you're on stage, a lot of times that's acting. You have to, instantly put yourself in that. In order to be effective and to reach people, you have to put yourself in a place where you can relay that. So do you feel that singers have an advantage in terms of acting and seeking some of these roles?
Well, I'm an educator.
Yes.
And so I have to come from the educational portion of it first.
Okay.
Singing has its own technique.
Mm-hmm.
Acting has its own technique.
Okay.
And so...
We don't have a camera on Kevin.
Kevin, did I do something?
No, he's like agreeing with you 100%.
So, I mean, it's sad that singers think that they can put on an acting hat without doing their research and gaining the technique.
Okay, right.
And vice versa, because you also have some actors that think that they're wonderful singers and they have no technique or have done any study, and it's kind of like a mockery as well. You know what I mean? So if you're going to cross over, you got to do the research. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, truth of the matter is, technically, if you look at my history, I went to college and my background is classical music. So, I mean, that's technically me. So, I did have acting classes and I did have, some exposure to being an actor, but that wasn't my thing. My thing was stand flat foot and sing and go up that scale and rip it up. Jackson Sheets, rest in peace, my voice teacher from Shenandoah Conservatory. Woo!
Ding, ding, ding.
I learned from the best. And so, in this musical theater, I've had to really lean on researching and doing my homework and doing my work, you know what, and leaning on my friends that I knew didn't feel like some kind of way because I'm asking, or me feeling some kind of way because I'm having to ask the stupid questions like, okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so how do I approach this monologue? How do I go about this? And I'm a true sister. I don't mind, asking questions. If I don't know, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so I don't think that they can be mixed, to answer your question, not to go off. I don't think. Now, is it mixed? Yes. Is it mixed a lot? Yes. Do the Saints try to make it look like it's something that's easy to be done? Yes, they do. But those that studied it for years and those who have done the blood, sweat, and tears, they're feeling some kind of way, believe it or not. Oh, yeah, they're feeling some kind of way. Oh, yeah. Now, of course, if you're looking at things like Broadway and all of that, it's about the money, too. Let's be clear. So they're going to bring in the money makers who are just singers. Right. But trust me, they're really just going out, doing the minimum, and then coming off. They're not doing the work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I hope were you talking about Broadway level, or were we talking about
just
church,
general,
church circuit?
Oh gosh, I wasn't even thinking about church circuit. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I mean, because in the smaller arenas, everybody can do everything as they think. Don't get me going.
All right, now we got time. Can we still have some music?
Who's on here? Stacy Snee. Hi.
Somebody's like,
Michelle
yes, thank
Brown.
you.
Yeah, I'll get on my soapbox. Listen.
But what's funny? I think about, and I'm not picking on that. Somebody probably gonna say something bad about this too. And I'm not picking on Fantasia by no means. I love Fantasia. But and there was a very big difference between when I saw her play herself in the she played herself in her biopic. I'm getting ready.
Because the Saints love Fantasia.
I love her too, but
they're getting ready to go in on us, Wendy. They're getting ready to go in.
But when she first, okay, you got to admit, like when she for those that saw her first, I think it was her first role, her first biopic, playing herself. She really wasn't that great. But I must say, I did go to see her in The Color Purple, and she was really, really good. And I don't think she's done anything since. But
no,
yeah,
I don't think so. Well, like I said, it's about that coin.
Yes.
So bringing her to Color Purple is about the coin. It's about selling the tickets. Jennifer Hudson, she can't act.
Oh God, you must have been on a conversation with me.
No, she can't. I mean, I love her. Bless her, bless. I mean, but she's not an actor. But they brought her to sell the tickets. The black folk love them.
Right.
And, if they see them on the ticket, they're going.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they're going.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay, we got that out.
Kevin is over there like,
yes. Thank you. I'm finally right about something, right, Kevin? Look at
But, for those that don't have the technique, it looks easy to do.
Right.
It looks like, oh, I can do that. Oh, yeah, just tell me what to do. But it's an art. It's a craft. You know what I mean? There are rules and regulations. There's standards. You got to know them. It's
right.
not just, folks are still paying loans from the education.
Yeah,
okay?
Hallelujah. Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right, there you have it. There I have it. So now let's talk about your musical endeavor now.
Okay.
We talked briefly. You've got something in the works in terms of a CD coming out at some point?
I do. Things got to die down a little bit for me. But yeah, I guess this isn't telling too much. But yeah, I've met with a couple of producers and kind of trying to figure out what direction I want to go in. My last CD, which was, 12 years ago, it was Christian.
It was excellent.
Gospel
It was excellent.
Influence. And this time I'm going a different direction. It won't be musical theater. It won't be gospel. It's going to be just music. And so it's going to have a little bit of everything on it.
And I have to say, and I'm not stroking your ego by no means. I don't
sisters.
do that.
We love each other.
Yes, but I tell you, one of the things, and I'm a very critical person, and Kevin and I have this conversation quite a bit, because sometimes I feel like, okay, if I'm going to be critical, then my stuff has to be like 110%. But you know what sounds good and what doesn't.
Right.
And what I find, back then, when we met and I heard the CD project before we really even knew each other, I was so impressed with not just the lyrics and the message and the songs, but the quality of the sound.
Oh, wow. That was Studio 51.
Oh, my goodness.
Brad and Leslie.
It was excellent because now you hear, some projects I hear, the songs might be great, but all of the music might not sound uniform in terms of, how it's mixed.
Oh, yeah. We spent a good coin, honey.
Yes,
to
and
get
that is
that
so
mastered
important.
and mixed.
That is so important. It is so important.
Oh, yes.
So I'm really looking forward to it. Have you started writing for your project?
No. I haven't started writing because all things are Lady Day right now.
Right.
Yeah. I met with them right before Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving to here, it's all things Lady Day. Yeah.
So let's talk about that in terms of balance.
Ooh.
And this is a question to help me.
Okay.
You said that right now all things are Lady Day right now. How do you balance? So is it once this is done, then you'll focus on another project, or what happens if you have another opportunity to act? I mean, does that move to the background? Will you be doing things simultaneously? How do you balance between the three, well, not even between the three, because you're a mom too.
Yeah.
We can't forget that,
Well, I have always been a master juggler, multitasker. And that's just a skill that I have, and I'm blessed with. I don't take it for granted. I know it comes from God, and I don't take any credit for it. But I do have a daughter at SMU, Dallas, Texas. I do
ballerina.
I do have a son who's 14 years old, and he is into picking his hair every 5 seconds and looking like he is GQ every 5 minutes. And He's gonna kill me. But he's into track, and I still do the field trips, and I'm the room mom for his class. But I'm a planner. I write things down. I have to see it. So I'm old school with a layout plan.
Yes, I have to have that too.
Yeah, I can't use my phone because I have to see the week. If I don't write it down, I'm nothing. I do to-do lists. I have my kid's dad is a really good father, so he really goes out of his way to say, okay, so what does the week look like? What do we have going on? Okay, you got this one, you got that, I got this.
That's good.
And you have a village of folk who help you out. As far as you have to use wisdom, because you want to, it's such a big deal right now, #booked. It's like ridiculous. To me, it's Pay Miss Brown. That's the hashtag, Pay Miss Brown. So it's like you want to be booked, but at the end of the day, you have to use wisdom. I can't. I do laundry every week. I fold it, I hang it up, I put them away. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to take so many gigs that I can't be a mother. I'm not going to take so many gigs that I can't give my best for this one, that I'm running 15 minutes late. I'm doing this. No, you gotta structure your life in a way that, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do and nothing goes unattended.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm balancing. I'm a teacher, I'm a singer, I'm an actor. I balance all of that. But at the end of the day, I have to structure things in a way that I don't fail. Things don't fall through the cracks. You know what I mean? Balance is always a thing, but you got to know what you're good at and what you're not.
Right.
And build folks around you that can help you do what you do. Yeah.
Well, that helped me. I'm sure it helps someone else, because nowadays it used to be a time when they'd say, oh, you have to put all your eggs in one basket. You got to focus on one thing. You got to be good at that. But nowadays we're in a society where we wear a lot of different hats. And
you got to, because
you have
to. It was a time that one check could do it.
Right.
As a performer, that's what we do. We have gigs. You got a church job on Sunday. You're teaching during the day. You're performing at night, or vice versa. So no, you're always gigging. That's how you pay. Because I don't answer phones during the day. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm a gigger. That's what I do. So if I don't gig, I don't pay Miss Brown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah, Miss Brown wants that money, honey.
That's right. That's good advice. Great advice. We're not going to go to commercial break because I know we're running out of time. But because I definitely want, I'm surprised we didn't get any calls from the at least my artist friends that want to know.
The march was today.
Okay.
So a lot of folks were at the march today. Shout out to the ladies out there wearing their pink. Ooh.
Yes. Shout out. Hey. All right. Let's talk briefly about vocal preservation.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, in general, what can artists do to preserve their voice? I know, and I said this on the Facebook. You'll probably see it later. Coming over the intro to this, I know you're going to say warm-ups are key.
Well, even before that, the singer has to know that the voice is a part of the body. And so everything that the body needs, the voice will need. So the body needs hydration. The body needs sleep. The body needs sleep, hydration, and the body needs rest. And so if you're not sleeping, the first thing, as a singer, your voice is going to tell you that off the break. If you're not hydrating yourself, the voice is going to tell you that. So the practical things are rest, hydration, and what was the other one?
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah. So you got to look at it that way. And then under that, you have to find somebody that you trust that's highly recommended to study under.
Yes.
You have to have a teacher. Yay. Yeah, I mean, it's important because if you are a singer and this is something that you do, you're going to have to invest because, you know, you're singing hours a week, days a week. You got to know how to treat it. Longevity is the key.
Yes.
You can sing for 5 years wonderfully, but in 15 years, will you still be that soprano?
Right.
And so you got to get with somebody that's going to teach you how to preserve it, you know? And so under that, yes, you do have to warm up every day. But again, if you don't have a teacher to show you how to do it and to navigate through those vocalises, then it means nothing. There are lots of apps out here teaching you how to warm up and all of that, but they don't know your voice.
Right.
So yeah, I teach against those apps.
Okay, and it is important. You got all types of coaches. You know, you have the life coaches and career coaches, and it's definitely important. If this is your passion and your career, your money maker, something that you're serious about, you got to invest in it.
And everybody that says they're teaching voice isn't a teacher. Let's be very clear about that. So you got to make sure that you do your research and find out who's good out there. You got to find out, because there are a lot of people teaching on imagery.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk quickly about how do people stay connected. How do they get in touch with you?
Okay.
How can they find Miss Ayanna Blake?
www.iyonablake.com. Yes, you can see my events. You can email me. You can ask your questions. I'm on social media as well. But yeah, that's my website. Check me out.
Yes, and again, can we put the Lady Day picture up real quick?
February 8th through March 4th. Yay!
Yes.
Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. Ayanna Blake, Mark Meadows.
And people can purchase tickets?
Yes. CreativeCauldron.org.
Can they get tickets on your website too?
It's a link there. They can get it from my website.
Okay, so there you have it. So we're going to say right here and now, we're going to claim that once your project, even before then, once your project is out or when you want to come back and visit and sing, because I want people to hear you.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Well, you know, they can come to Lady
definitely
Day.
that. But, you know, definitely that. Please come out and support. And that is also key for indie artists. You know, you've got to come out and support folk. That's what keeps us going. Not just for the financial support, but also we want to be supported. We want people to see our craft.
Absolutely.
So yes, I thank you so much for coming on the show.
I love you. I love you.
Yes.
It's been too long.
It has, and we still got so much catching up to do.
So much catching up to do, because you know life happens.
Yes, it does. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna give you a month after the final performance of Lady Day, and then we'll set that up.
Absolutely.
Yes. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure you join us again. Come back to see us on Indie Voice next Saturday, each and every Saturday at 5 o'clock. And if you have artists that you would like to see interviewed on the show, please, reach out. You can contact me on Indie Voice. Facebook is my fan page, or you can go to wendyrhicks.com. Reach me that way. And I haven't mentioned this in a while, but for those of you indie artists who want to showcase your projects, then I offer a package where you get a 30-minute segment where you sit here and perform live on the stage here. People get to know who you are. This is worldwide. So, make sure you reach out that way on the website, all right? So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.
My life is a gift from you, blessed from heaven, that's for sure. So every day I live, give thanks to you. I haven't been perfect, that's okay, and you still show love my way. Yeah, please don't leave me stay, 'cause I know the sun doesn't shine, the rain doesn't fall, and there wouldn't be a twinkle, twinkle little star. And just like we have winter, spring, and summer, fall, I can always count on you, because you never let me down. You've always been around you know my destiny. So I believe. Every day my faith is stronger. Knowing you're there, I hang on a little longer. Sometimes life gets a little hard. Hey, your times are tough, so hard to bear. I get weak sometimes, I feel you really don't care. But when I open my eyes and look out the window and see that the sun doesn't shine and the rain doesn't fall, and there would be a twinkle, twinkle, little star, yeah. And just like we have winter, spring, and summer, fall, I can always count on you, 'cause you never let me down. You always been around, yeah, yeah, yeah. My trust for you will never leave. You never, never, never leave. 'Cause you know my destiny. I know if I believe. I know if I believe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do anything if I believe. I know if I believe. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna be for me, but today I can thank God for my life.